Hey guys, this is Mijaelle. Welcome to Heartbeats. Today we're at Bluenoise Productions and we're talking to Kurt Slabbert. He is an awesome professional guitarist. He is also working in local bands as a musical director, as a band member. He also forms part of the duo BreakDLaw, and I know you're really going to enjoy this. Hi Kurt.
Hi.
So how have you grown personally because of your journey of guitar playing?
I think personally it's being in the music industry has forced me to almost become a hustler, you know, so it really focuses you on growing as a musician and also growing as a homeowner, as a you know, as a husband, as many things, you know what I mean? So, you know, I've got to find passion in music and also pay for rent at the end of the month. So I think growing into the music industry, you need to try and make sure that everything's kind of balanced, you know. I don't know if that answers the question, but
no, well, that's what you found.
You know, I guess that's what I found, yeah.
Okay, and then BreakDLaw are successful. Well, you're a successful collaboration, but how do you guys define your roles as a partnership?
Okay, so BreakDLaw originally was David Law, and then I came on board to write with him, and I just found that our strengths are really different. You know, we're not the same in any way. I've known David for many years. We played together in a band about 10 years ago, and getting together, he's got seriously good production skills, and you know, so I know where his strengths are and I know where my strengths lie, and they're not the same. And I think for that, you know, we've got respect for those areas of each other. You know, obviously, you know, in a partnership there's always going to be times where you don't agree, you know, but we try and work through that as well, you know. Yeah. And you know, especially when it comes to song, you know, we'll listen to it and see what works better, etc. You know, but once again, like I said, I think synergy works well when your strengths are different.
Yeah. And you guys are wanting to take BreakDLaw live, and you're looking for a full-time vocalist. What do you think that person has to bring to the mix?
Yeah, for us it would have to be something unique. You know, there's a lot of good voices out there, but I think what we're looking for is a unique voice. You know, there are one or two people we've had in mind. We just haven't, I guess, had time to get it up and going yet. You know, this has been crazy with a lot of other work, and Dave also works in engineering full time. You know, I work in many facets of the music industry, so we've both been really busy to try and get that thing up and going. But yeah, when we find a vocalist, hopefully it'll be something that's recognizable. Yeah. You know, not a good voice, but a unique, recognizable voice. Yeah. The last single I did with David from BreakDLaw was When We Were Young, and that song began as a guitar idea, and David built a song around it, and then Matthew came in on vocals. So you know, everything was done in studio. We got in studio, and I sat down and I had this idea, and together Dave and I just developed it. So it's pretty simple. It's all kind of based around B minor, and I think just making it as musical as possible. You know, there's nothing complicated about it. For me, it's just up and down the scale, and it lends itself to a nice melodic hook. So that was the idea behind it. Once again, creating also a bass line that goes with it. So it wasn't just the melody note, but it was also a bass line. I think what's important about this is that every melody note is harmonized by the bass note, but none of them are octaves. They're not octaves of each other. So it kind of just makes it more melodic. So it's kind of just moving down the scale and back up the scale. So I just wanted to create something that is a hook that people could, you know, identify with, listen, and it's easy to follow. There's nothing complicated about it. It really is a simple piece of music.
how has your experience with working with bands and individuals as either a musical director or just even a band member expanded your horizons?
I think playing in different styles has definitely made a huge difference, you know. I've played in theatre where everything is written out for you and you follow the chart.
Yeah.
Then I go play with, you know, I play with Lloyd Cele in his band, and his band has taught me so much about just, you know, using the ears, you know. So, you know, each discipline is so different, you know, that it definitely teaches you different skills, you know, being able to play in different styles or playing with different types of musicians, you know. Some musicians are very, their approach would be very academic. A lot of musicians, their approach would be very natural, you know, just depending on how they grew up, how they learned, how they studied, etc. So I think for me, it's made me a better listener and musician by being able to MD and be involved in different styles of music with different musicians. You know, I'm glad I don't play with the same musicians all the time. You know, it definitely gives you other skills. You know, or you learn. You know what I mean? You learn a lot of other things. A lot of other skills.
And you're always open to that. I love it.
Absolutely.
And then, because music is a fun thing, do you ever just crank up the music and like dance like nobody's watching?
Sure.
Or how do you just have fun?
I do. Yeah. You know, I mean, you know, I'll download something and I'll just listen to it, you know, for a couple of days. I still do that,
just soak it in.
But stuff that's you know, not necessarily commercial stuff. You know, maybe whatever, you know. Or if I need to be producing in a certain direction, I'll download stuff and listen to it as well. You know, there's very little music I don't enjoy. You know, I'm very open to anything. But I don't ever turn it up in here and find myself dancing on the floor.
Just go for it.
But yeah.
How and when do you receive your greatest creative insights or creative sparks?
Usually at the weirdest times, you know, and then a lot of times they're missed, you know, you don't kind of put them down. So I think I've gotten used to taking the guitar when I need to do work and making it happen, you know.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it doesn't always lend to the most creative thing, you know. But I do find that, you know, sometimes you'll just be sitting in front of the TV and an idea will come to you, or you'll be running and an idea will come to you, you know. So it's very difficult. It can come with, you know. There's nothing that for me makes it happen. It's just.
Well, you can't plan it. That's the whole point.
You can't plan it, you know. So, but I think, you know, trying to remember those ideas so that when you do get into the booth to put something down, there's enough in you for something to come out that that hopefully is right or hopefully will work, you know.
Cool. What part of your journey has been a pleasant surprise?
I think everything. My whole journey's been a pleasant surprise. You know, for me, studying music was huge, you know. And, for me, it was just to be able to go and do it, you know.
And you studied overseas?
I did.
Yeah.
And, you know, after that, everything else has just been a bonus, you know.
Which personal belief or personal motto defines how you approach life?
Sure. In one line, you know, something that's really been on my mind lately is to finish strong. You know, whatever you take on, you know. So it's a tough one because you don't always, you know, but it doesn't mean you can't live up to it.
Yeah, it's always a journey. Great. Have you ever had a moment where you felt, you know that saying, it's darkest before the dawn, and then you have a breakthrough? Have you ever had one of those moments where you get hold on?
At least once a week.
Wow!
Yeah, they do happen often. I mean, you know, being in the music industry, for instance, our last single, you know, it didn't just happen, you know, it took a couple of weeks before there was traction, you know, so you do kind of go, I really thought that song would do something, and then nothing happens, and then it does happen, you know. But, you know, in business as well, you know, because being in music, you're in business, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, hoping that job will come through, then you do pitches and then it comes through, you know what I'm saying? So there is quite a bit of that up and down. It seems to be a constant, you know. I don't know if that's just the music industry or if that's just industry in general,
I
business
think lots
in
of
general.
people experience that. Yeah.
So I think it's a normal thing.
And then people come across our paths to inspire us in different ways. But which meeting really stands out for you as being impactful?
Sure. I've had so many. For me, a lot of times we'll be going to go watch music, watch a gig.
Mm-hmm.
That usually leaves me with a lot of things to think about, you know. Just
Mention
watching.
one person that, or even a piece of advice that you've gotten from somebody that you can remember, like, wow, I remember somebody saying that to me that's really stuck with me for a long time.
Sure. You know, to be honest, like I said, a lot of it comes through just watching people play. You know, I'm a firm believer in personality will come out in your music. You know, who you are will be how you sound. You know, whether it be singing or playing. And I think a lot of, you know, I don't know if I've had such deep conversations.
Yeah, no.
But, I probably have, and you know, there's probably a lot of it, and there's nothing that I can think of right now. You know, as to what somebody might have said to me. But,
yeah, no, it's all kind of
everything. I mean, I've got a lot of mentors, you know, who have definitely instilled things into my playing, into my life, into, I guess, who I am as a person. You know, I just can't remember any of the negative gold. You know.
Yeah, no. Hey guys, that was part 1. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for part 2. Kurt will be giving advice about the music industry and also talking about how to create music that really relates to people. Like it, subscribe, comment, and I'll check you next time.